Do you know when most people have heart attacks? Well, I'll tell you, most people have heart attacks on Monday morning between 8 and 9 o'clock. Coincidence, and that's the same time that most people are going to work. The reason why they're having these anxiety or heart attacks because they're stressed out, and this stress has been accumulating year after year after year, and sooner or later, as you get a little bit older, it catches up with you. Do you know most people retire anywhere between the ages of 65 and 67 years old? That means the majority of your life you spend working. So it's super critical that you find a job that you like, and it's not a job that's stressful, that you enjoy. Look, everybody needs to bring home a paycheck. I get that. That's part of life. You have to support your family. But working is way more important than just a paycheck. You must find some happiness in what you do, because you're going to do it for so long. You're going to work for 40, 45 years in a row. And if you find out after working 45 years that you've been unhappy this whole time, you're going to look back on your life. You're going to have a lot of regrets. This video, I'm going to give you 6 different questions that you can answer. And if you answer these questions, you will know if you're in the right job or not. Number 1. Are you excited about your job? Do you get along with your coworkers? Are you excited about going to work? Are you excited about being a part of the team? Do you feel like your input is being valued? Do you feel like your work is being appreciated? Do you feel like you're supporting others, and you feel like at the end of the day, at the end of the month, you've done something productive? These are some key things you need to ask yourself. If you don't feel that way about these things, that's a red flag that something's wrong. Next one. Do you feel challenged? Do you feel engaged? Do you feel refreshed when you spend the weekend doing whatever activities you do with your family, and you know you're going to get ready to go to work on Monday? Do you feel engaged, excited about going to the office? Now, some people say, hey, look, you're not looking for Jubilee. But look, you should feel like, hey, look, I'm going to work on Monday morning. I feel like I'm a part of something. I feel great walking into the door. My team's there, my friends there. We have a collected body, and we're focused, and we're all going in the right direction, or any direction together. If you don't feel that, when you feel that's a struggle, when you walk in the door and you go, oh my God, here's another day, that's a key sign that you're in the wrong place. Number 3, do you feel like you're well compensated? Do you feel like that you're getting the right salary for what you do? Be honest with yourself. If you're only putting in half of the time, half of the effort, don't expect to get the best salary, the top range in the industry. Be honest. Look around the industry and understand what the pay and salary and benefits are. And if you feel like you're being paid way below the industry standards, that's a sign that you might need to look at doing something else. Number 4, do you feel good about what you're doing? And that's a gut check, right? You have to ask yourself that. Do you really feel good about what you're doing? All your energy and all your efforts. You feel like it's just gone for nothing. You feel like it's no value to society. It's no value to the planet. The only thing I get out of doing this job is a paycheck. If that's the case, that's a wrong job. You're in the wrong place, because you really need to feel something when you go to work. You really need to be a part of something other than just picking up a paycheck. Number 5, do you see a future in this career? Do you see mobility? Do you see 5 years down the road this job's still going to be there? Is this job being phased out, or the job's going overseas, or is the industry slowly declining, where is it going to be a point where it's shut down? Do you see AI taking over these roles in the future? You need to look at the future and make sure that you have a career path that's going to be there. Even though you might love the job you do, if it's not going to be there in 10 years and you're 30 years old, you need to start having an exit strategy and moving into something else. Don't wait until everything hits the floor, until the job's gone, you get called in and you get a piece of paper in your hand saying your job's done. You need to plan proactively for an exit strategy and plan the next job, so you could be just as excited about that job as you do in your existing role. Number 6, is the job impacting your family negatively? Do you feel that your job is causing you stress at home? Do you feel like it's causing stress with your kids? Do you feel like you're not being able to spend time with your family, time with your friends, time with your loved ones? Is the job just creeping over your whole life, and you feel just completely pressured? That's another sign that you're in the wrong place. Number 7, are you completely exhausted at the end of the day? Do you have no energy? You're completely depleted. You just go home, you get something to eat, and you fall on the couch or fall in the bed, and you say, that's it. That's a bad sign too, because look, on certain days, I can understand if you have the big report that's due, or year-end closing, et cetera, and you're completely exhausted at the end of this ordeal, or there's a big conference in town and and you at the end of it, you're completely dead. Hey, look, that's okay. But those things happen. But if it's every day you walk in the door and you're completely exhausted, you have no time for hobbies, you have no time for friends, you have no time for nothing. You're completely exhausted. That's another sign, guys, that you need to really start to reevaluate what's happening in this job. Number 8, and the last one. This is probably very, very important to me. It hopefully is important to you also. But do you have time to be productive outside of work? Do you have hobbies? Or are you involved in the church? Are you involved in your kids' hobbies? Do you have time to have a romantic weekend with your wife, your spouse? Those things are very, very important. You need to have some type of balance with all this. I look at it, everybody talks about work-life balance. I like to change it and say life-work balance, right? I think life should be before the word work, because I think it's your life. You need to control it. Working as a part of your life should not be controlling your life. So if you're completely exhausted when you get home, you don't have any time to do anything else, you have no hobbies, you have no friends, you have nothing, it's a bad sign. This job is taking over your whole life, leaving you with nothing else. Absolutely, you might be well compensated for it, but at the end of the day, when you don't have a family and you end up in divorce court and you got a pot of money, but you'll realize at some point money's not everything, and your family and your kids and your grandkids, etc., etc. It's the most important thing that's the most important asset that you have. So you really need to enjoy them while you can. So I'm giving you 8 different indications about being in the wrong workplace. Take a look at them. Go back and think about what I said. If you find yourself with 4 out of the 8, or even 3 out of the 8, and you feel like you're just unhappy after you do some evaluation, and you need some help on looking for that next role and that next job, give me a call. I would love to hear from you. Please go to my website. My link is below. I'd love to spend some time talking with you. Thanks a lot.